Yo, what's going on, people? It's been a while. This is Mike and this is Slim. Two Ordinary Guys back in the studio once again. What's going on, Slim?
All good, brother. All good, man. It's been a while, like you said. Things have happened in the last year. I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. Maybe not today, but yeah, it's good. It's good to see you, bruv. It's good to see you. I'm looking
You
forward to
see
this
the hair's
episode.
looking different as well. Like, it's nice, man.
Yeah,
I can't cuss you back them beach sprays now. You had the end goal, isn't it?
patience is a virtue, Mike.
It is indeed, man. It is indeed. Now, fair play.
I actually went back to that episode and I was like, this guy, man, he destroyed me out here.
Yeah, but it made you stick the journey. So here we are now, looking nice and crisp.
I stayed with it, man. I stayed with it.
So listen, I can't believe it. It's like less than a week now and the World Cup is kicking in soon.
Bro, ball fever. I'm so gassed for this World Cup. I can't wait. I can't
Yeah,
wait,
no,
especially with
yeah, go on.
end of the Prem, Champions League done. I don't want to talk about the Prem too much, you know what I mean? For reasons that both of us know why. But look, the World Cup's coming next Thursday. Can't believe it. It's come so quick.
I'm going to try and watch as many of the games as always. But yeah, the 3 o'clocks and 1 o'clocks are they're a bit insane.
They're going to be a challenge. They're going to be a challenge.
It should
man.
be good. So right. So let me put a little scenario on the table for you. So imagine this. Yeah, you move to Spain. You're there for 5 years. You get your residency sorted. You're paying for your taxes. You learn enough Spanish to order a beer, right? The full works. And then your kid turns out to be an unbelievable footballer. I'm talking techers like that you've never seen before.
Lamine Yamal.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Under FIFA rules, the current rules today, they could one day pull on a Spain shirt. Would that feel right to you?
Good question, man. Good question. Something that's been on my mind over the years about the representation at elite sports level. Obviously, in that scenario,
hold those thoughts. Yeah, let's get into this episode. All right, and let's delve into that a little bit deeper.
Cool. So go on, then, bro. Go on.
So my view is like, would I feel comfortable for my child to represent Spain? Now, he doesn't have a choice where he's born, right? But at the same time, if I'm British or another country, then my natural instinct is I want them to represent the country that I'm from.
Yeah,
that's my first thoughts. But I appreciate it gets a little bit more complex than that because you could have a partner that's from a different nation and they might want them to represent that as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you first posed the question to me, my first question back to you was going to be, was my son born there? Yeah. Was he born in Spain? So, yeah. So it's an interesting one because I've always posed this question where I feel, should someone only represent the country that they have blood of?
Okay.
So for example, like let's say you went to Spain, your blood is fully Jamaican, right? And your son, let's say your partner was fully Jamaican as well. Yeah. Just for argument's sake, your son is full Jamaican blood. There's no other mix of blood in him. Yeah. But he's born in Spain. Yeah. In that scenario, then it's like at the moment he could pick Spain because that's the country of his birth, of his residence. He's got citizenship there. But I'm almost posing back to you, potentially, no, he should only play for the country that he has blood in. So it's a techie one. I mean, some examples, where we've got recently it came out. So Kobbie Mainoo is going to be playing for England at this World Cup, Born in Manchester, English as they come. Yeah. You know, you hear him speak, he's got a Mani accent.
Yeah.
But both his parents are of Ghanaian origin. They were born in Ghana. He's fully Ghanaian. He's decided to pick England.
Okay.
And then as a direct comparison, Antoine Semenyo is exactly the same. English as they come. Born in South, in London, I believe. His mum and dad are fully Ghanaian. He's chosen Ghana.
That's interesting. And again, so the bit that we haven't looked at is opportunity. And I know that as we go through some more of these examples, opportunity will kind of give us license to either justify right or wrong. So in the instance of Kobbie Mainoo, with his Ghanaian parents, but he's born in England, he's probably thinking, I've got better opportunity to win a major trophy with a bigger nation than I have with Ghana, even though there are only limited number of African nations in every World Cup. Yeah. Like playing on the stage against the better players that's going to be higher amount of them in Europe and in the World Cup than there are in the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, exactly. And then it becomes I had this conversation the other day with a work colleague and they were like, well, why would you not pick the country that's better. Surely you're just, if you have the opportunity, you've got a choice of 2-3 countries and you're good enough, you're going to pick the one that's got them, that provides you with the most opportunity to win.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, fine. I kind of saw where he was coming from with that. Going to kind of delve into a different part. We're going to sideways into something else as part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Some people, and there's plenty of examples of this, at youth level, they're not that good. So they play for the weaker team. And then all of a sudden they get really good at senior level and they go, right, I've represented Ghana, because we'll use that as the example, at youth level. But now I'm a superstar Premier League player. Nah, man, I'm ditching Ghana. I'm going to play for England. That I've got strong opinions on, and I don't believe that should. I think they should change that rule.
I agree with you, and this gives on to the flip of that. So a player, Wilfried Zaha, who represented England under 19s, under 21s, even made 2 appearances around, I think, 2012, 2013.
Yeah,
so that would have been Hodgson era, right? Just coming into Gareth Southgate.
Think so, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so played 2 times for England, and then Gareth Southgate came in and he basically got ignored. So at that point, he then decided, because he was within his rights, to represent his home nation, which was Ivory Coast. Played 36 times for him, got capped. Now, the FIFA rules say if you play more than 3 matches for one nation after the under 21, you have to represent that. You can't change. So in his case, played twice in friendlies, no tournaments, well within his rights. So did England miss out on a good player, or is it a case of he felt snubbed and still wanted to represent a country at an international level, so he moved on?
Yeah. Exactly. That's a great counter argument to what I was saying. And in one of those situations where you kind of have to sit back then and go, actually, in that scenario, you're playing at the highest level of your chosen sport, but you started out really well, you were fancied, and all of a sudden, new manager comes in and they just don't rate you. And so what? Does your international career just die? Because they've got short careers. It's like we're talking about footballers right now. They've got short careers. So on that, I do have sympathy for Zaha on that one and understand why he then chose Ivory Coast. And they were willing to give him the opportunity to play for them. Is that rule, just because I don't know the answer to this, but is it only if they've played in non-competitive games?
Yes.
Right. So if he played one competitive game, he has to stick with England, right?
Yes, I believe so. So I need to check the actual wording. So up until under 20, if you can play for one country under 21, and then switch. That's the standard thing. And I get that. Like you say, the whole child thing, under 21 may not be that good. So at that time, not getting picked up by a bigger nation, let's say Germany, as opposed to, I don't know, Canada, a smaller nation in football in terms. And then they get to past 21 and suddenly their career and their skills to shoot through the roof. Then suddenly Germany wants to take them on. So the ruling, as far as I know, with FIFA is that if after 21, you have a choice to choose your nation, but as soon as you play 3 competitive matches, and by competitive, non-friendly, so qualification matches or in tournaments for that nation, that is your home nation. You can't switch after that.
Yeah.
Whereas, interestingly enough, in other sports, like athletics, for instance, it works on residency again. So you will have seen over the years where Jamaican athletes are past their prime, but they somehow ended up still wanting to carry on and they represent other countries in the world. Merlin Ottey is a great example, right? So I grew up watching her. At some point, she would have been good. That's all I know. I didn't see that stage. I saw the older Merlin Ottey, right? And then I remember the last time I saw her, she was in an Olympics representing Slovenia.
Damn.
Right? And the rules are simple. Once you're a professional athlete in athletics, as long as you're in a country for 6 months, minimum of 6 months, you can then, as long as they're willing to sponsor you, they will give you citizenship and you can represent them. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that, man.
So we've gone from a smaller country like Jamaica, which is massive in athletics. And because of that, Slovenia, Slovakia, those countries are then taking that talent and giving them residency so they can represent and hopefully bring some gold and reputation to their country. So it's kind of like, they're taking the talent elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And because athletics is a very interesting sport in that unless you're one of the top 10 in your actual, let's say in your field in athletics, you have to subsidize it all yourself, right?
Right.
So you get your own coaching. It's all done by sponsorship. So if you're sponsored by Nike, great, you're getting loads of money coming in. You can then go out and train with whoever, work with whoever. But a lot of the time, these athletes are not sponsored by big people, and therefore they're having to pay their way. And the only time they get money themselves is if they win gold competition in major competitions. So it's like that whole Asafa Powell thing, where he was always seemed to be injured and always seemed to fail. Well, in actual fact, he was genuinely injured, but he had to represent because he had bills to pay. That's his job.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen an interview with him and Usain Bolt talking about it, man. And it's like,
and so it wasn't a case of he underperformed and bottled it. No, this is like he wasn't getting a lot back from the government, from the country to support them.
Yeah.
And that leads to kind of goes full circle in the sense that in those scenarios, that's where you would potentially move to someone else, not necessarily because of the better opportunity in terms of representation, but because financially it suits you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I get you, man.
And that ties into
Yeah. You can just see it. Yeah.
I saw a video of the France under-17 squad going to a game the other day, right? There was one white person.
Bro, do you know what it reminds me of? So back in when we went to school, it was like we were the minority. If you go past the school bus stop now, bruv, it's the French team. It's changed completely, man. But yeah, I mean, like France is a great example at the moment where the World Cup's coming up, because I was thinking to myself, you know, we've had these debates before, right? And this loads of people have had these debates. Is an African country ever going to win a World Cup? Now, my question was, if what we're talking about now, let's say the rule was you can only play for the country of your blood, would an African team have won the World Cup by now? Because you look back at that France team, bro, potentially no still, because, you know, they're not all from the same African nation. They're split up.
Yeah.
But still, there's a lot
there are
absolute
pockets.
ballers.
And I think initially when we've had this over the years, I've always gone, yes, because naturally you look through players' names from history and you're like, you're right, they're from Ivory Coast, they're from Algeria. Yeah, they would have definitely won it. But in reality, what you're doing is by keeping people in their blood nations, if we like to call it that, then you're increasing the competitiveness of that nation. Therefore, some of these players that have made it into other European teams or North American teams because of other family, what have you, family lineage, it then means that they're not necessarily going to make it into their own team if the level is so high, right? Because if you've got a Zidane keeping you out of the Algerian team, like you are going to go away and do something else.
Well, exactly. Do you know, it's a great point, Mike, because like, remember back in the day, in the 90s, when there was that rule, every team in England were only allowed 3 non-English players.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that the other day, because I was like, but at the moment, it's a bit of a weird one to think about because the English team are actually good right now. You know, we've made 2 major finals, 2 finals in 2 major tournaments with the last Euros, So now we're good. But there was a period where we were so poor in the tournaments. I was thinking, if that rule was still in place, potentially we would have produced better footballers, because what ends up happening is the money is so huge in the Premier League, as we know, these managers can't afford to take a risk on their 17-year-old English boys coming through, because they'd rather spend 20 million on the Brazilian guy.
Unless you're Tottenham. You invest in players under 21, you then loan them out because you realise they're garbage, and then you end up in 2 relegation battles back-to-back seasons. But that's another topic.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. and it's not, again, just to caveat this, we're not being racist here, people. Right?
Yes, not at all.
We're not saying, like, I know the title is Your Country or Mine. Yeah, it's not one of them episodes. The point here is that by aligning yourself back to your blood lineage of the nation of your parents, which is your heritage, does that then increase the talent of every nation exponentially, or does it still make some nations weaker than others?
Yeah.
And that's my summary on it, because
exactly. And to be honest, Mike, I don't have an answer either way. So the question of should sports people and we represent the country of their blood, and I'm mixed, so I'd have options.
Yeah,
but
so would my son.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's not a case of like, being racist, as you said. It's just, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether I feel that you should just represent the country of your blood, or whether because at the end of the day, man, England is, the thing I love about this country is we are so multicultural, and there are so many, we're so diverse. I love the fact that you can come over here like our parents did.
Yeah.
They came over here and made a life for themselves.
Yeah.
And are English. They're English. They're British people.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's interesting. So I had to arrange. Mum and Dad are due to fly to America shortly, and had to do like the ESTA application. Hate that for them because obviously they're too old to do it themselves. And what was crazy is working out, or just not even working out, just acknowledging that my parents have spent more time in England than in their own home country.
Exactly. There's that as well.
Like, they came over in 20s, right? So they spent like 50 odd years here.
Damn, they came in the 20s?
Yeah. Dad came over in 55. So he would have been 23 when he came over.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And Mum came over in 64. So she would have been around about the same age.
So your mum came the year before my dad came over.
Yeah.
65.
Yeah, but your dad came over in shorts though.
Yeah, I know.
So
he didn't. That's the only thing he owned. He wouldn't have needed anything, any trousers.
So on this then, so another point I want to chuck in before I get to the interesting debate about two brothers, which I think I know you're going. So the first thing is then, do you think the rules need to change so that if you represent at youth level, you have to also represent at adult level? Or do you think it's okay as it is?
Right. So I had a strong opinion of this before we started this episode. And then you've messed up my brain, bruv. So I was very much like, no, you have to pick. If you pick one nation, that's your nation. I think it's a bit of I think it's a farce sometimes when these players play at youth level for one said country. They're proud to represent that country, obviously. And then all of a sudden go, that nation's not that good anymore. I want to go and play for the other country that I qualify for.
Yeah.
Like, bro, imagine how good Republic of Ireland would be with Declan Rice, Jack Grealish and Harry Kane. You know what I mean? And Declan Rice and Jack Grealish played for Ireland.
Yeah, they did.
Then actually, they're not going to get us to a World Cup.
Won Youth Player of the Year and then skipped. He's like, no, I'm playing for England.
But then the Zaha example you gave to me has made me slightly consider that there are isolated examples and incidents where it's a shame for the player. I don't know. Like you've made me think about it again.
It is. Do you know? It is a shame that he didn't get picked again. But there have been many good players that haven't got picked again. In my mind, international sport needs to be the utmost competitive level that you're playing at. Right? If you're not good enough, then that's what happens. You don't get picked.
Get good enough. Like. At club level, at domestic level, you want to go and play for one of the top 4 teams? Perform then at your team, and then you'll get the move.
Get there, then just slack off like most people. But seriously though, that's it though. Like if we're saying that's the pinnacle, right? Everyone talks about a tournament that happens in 4 years, every 4 years. Right? So you're grooming yourself almost to be ready for that tournament. You get upset if you get a little knock. You perform throughout the season, but you really step it up when it gets after Christmas because that's when international managers are looking, right? Yeah, you want to get picked, okay? So if that's your mantra to make sure you're picked, then you have to perform to get in that team.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
I'd say I felt sorry for Zaha at the time because I really liked him, and then when he didn't come to Spurs, I didn't care. No, joking. But in reality, he wasn't good enough for the system the manager wanted to play. And that happens at club level. That happens everywhere.
Yeah,
if you can't play the way the team manager wants to play, it doesn't matter. For many years, England have tried to shoehorn in multiple players just because they're the best. No. It's got to be the system. It's got to be the
back yourself. Back yourself, innit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're, like you said, it's the pinnacle now. This is the elite. You're amongst the elite sports people in your field. If you're not getting picked and it's not even just by one manager. He could have changed that manager's opinion by knuckling down and performing at club level. If he still doesn't get picked, there's nothing he can do at that stage. But you have to back yourself. There's something you've just made me think about as well, because I want to open up the question to not just the players. Should the managers be from where that country so, for example, Thomas Tuchel, should he realistically manage England considering he's German. Carlo Ancelotti, he's Italian, managing Brazil. Should remember, these are the best of that said country.
Yeah.
That little bit like the players have to qualify to play for England by way of being English or having an English, whatever it is, citizenship. How comes the same rule doesn't apply to the manager? He's part of that team.
And that's fair. I don't think I've got an answer, because if I say, yeah, they should, I instantly think about how no English manager has ever won the Premier League.
That blows my mind,
right?
bro.
So instantly think about that, right? So it's been running for 24 years. Is it 24? 92. Yeah. No, it's more than that.
30.
30. Jesus.
You're the mathematician out of us two, bro. What's going on?
Oh my God. 8 plus 24. No, 32
Damn.
years. Yeah. Anyway, it's been going for 32 years and no English manager ever won it. So I instantly like, well, if that's the case, if no English manager is good enough to win a national league, does that mean they should manage their country? So I don't know if I agree, but I get it. You can't have one without the other, right?
It was just a thought that I just thought, hold on a sec, actually the managers
we would never get to see Graham Potter lead Sweden out at the World Cup.
Well, they're you're such an idiot.
You know the World Cup
answer to that.
The World Cup that they rightfully qualified for by finishing third in their group and not winning a game in the qualification.
Yeah, it's mad. When you gave me that stat the other week, I was like, what? That can't be true. I had to check you, bro. I was like, no, it can't be right. You were absolutely right.
So,
it's an interesting one, isn't it? But go back to the brothers.
Yes,
what do you think about that? Because you touched on it before, but
so we're talking about Jerome and Kevin Prince Boateng, right? One representing Ghana, one representing Germany. Now, I know I don't have all the facts, sadly, but I know it's something to do with family and splitting up. And one was living with one and one was living the other, I believe. And as a result of that breakup, I think the brothers themselves fell out because they chose sides. But at the same time, they then chose to represent different countries, but to the point where they don't talk.
Kevin Prince played for Germany at youth level, though.
Yes.
So I think they did come up together. I don't know the full facts either. But there was an interview with Kevin Prince Boateng, and he said the way he was treated by the German FA equivalent or whatever was the reason he was like, nah, I don't want to play for this country anymore.
Yeah.
He considers himself German. Yeah. I mean, he was born there. He speaks the language. He's German, but of mixed heritage, and one being from Ghana. So I think there was a bit more to it personally with him.
Yeah, I that's how I think it as well. But the fact that they don't, I mean, I've seen articles interviewed that the fact they don't talk and don't like each other is crazy.
Well, there's a few other examples as well. There's the Williams brothers. One plays for Ghana, one plays for Spain.
Yeah.
In that one's, is it that the younger one, because he was better? It goes again back to what we said. So it's almost a full circle moment, because the younger one, what's he called? Inaki Williams, he's the older one, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then the younger brother, he's the better player. So because he's the better one, it was like, Ghana ain't good enough for me kind of thing. I'm going to win things with Spain, which he did. He won the Euros.
Yeah.
And it's easy for us to flippantly say that. You know, we're surmising. We don't know the real reasons why one of them picked Ghana and one of them picked Spain. But I found that one interesting. And then the one that shocked me yesterday was Doué. Desiree Doué sitting on the bench for France and his brother scoring against him for Ivory Coast. I was like, what? He's got a brother? It's for Ivory Coast.
See, part of me thinks if I had a brother of similar age to me, I'd love that. The fact he's playing for someone else and we can battle.
Bro, with me and you, I was like a brother to you, so I know 100% you are. He means every word of that. He'd be trying to kill me on the pitch as well.
No, but but at the same time, like going out with your brother in your same nation, that's momentous. Like your parents, grandparents, your whole family is just there proud. Like
imagine like how Bobby Charlton and Jack Charlton's family felt when they won the World Cup together.
Yeah.
It's not like big part players. They were two big boy players and they won the World Cup together. It's incredible feeling.
Okay. So we spoke about obviously the football quite a bit, and we spoke about athletics as well, other sports. So rugby recently tightened up their rules around residency. So it's 3 years. It's 3 years in a country, but I still don't like the idea that you can gain it like a certificate, like completing a university degree.
Yeah.
Right? And whilst I appreciate the game has now evolved because we've had loads of players come over from Australia, New Zealand, like the Pacific Islands. Yeah, it's great because we get to see what they can do. I missed, again, not racist, I missed English players playing for England. Like, I missed every nation having their own identity because of the way they play.
Yeah.
Them mixing it up. I don't know. That's what the world's greatest stage should be, I think. It's hard.
I kind of get what you're saying there. Like, it's, you know, I mentioned earlier on how I love the country, living in England, because it's so diverse and multicultural. Yeah. But it is, so I think in England, regardless of whether you're black, white, mixed, Asian, whatever, there is an English culture.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean?
There's a Thursday pub or night out.
Yes.
And there's a Friday pub, and bank holiday, if it's sun, there's an all-day pub. That's British culture. That is it. There's no question about it.
It's the comedy. It's the way, it's our banter. It's different to the rest of the world, man. Do you know what I mean? But what was your question again? Sorry.
So
I lost the train of thought there.
I basically said, do you know what? I don't even know. I don't even know. I just reached for my drink and it's just gone from me. Right. It's just, that was it. No, I basically said, I like the fact that every country, every nation has its own kind of culture and style of play.
Yes.
And by the window shopping that some players do, and even like the nations themselves, because they obviously go out and say, we want that one because they've got 1/8 from Bosnia or whatever. Yeah. I don't like that because it's changing the game. And I think in a way, it kind of makes every team play the same. Like going back to the beginning, the early days in the 90s where you could only have 2 or 3 players from European country or outside and you had to have the registration.
Yeah.
And it's even in squads as well. It's like it was some weird combination. That meant you had to play homegrown, and that meant every club played a different way.
Yes.
Granted, it was 4-4-2 and boring and dull, but every club, some teams were going long ball. Some teams wanted to beat you up, Wimbledon. Some teams were trying to pass it around, but that's what gave them their identity. Now, everyone plays with 3 up top. Everyone plays with these inverted wingers.
Yeah, it's a great point.
It's just diluted it all so that everything's the same. Is that the way the world's going in everything now, or is it just in sport?
I know exactly what you mean. It's a great point because it's like with football back in the day when it wasn't so, so diverse. It was, you knew how England were going to go and play at a World Cup.
Yeah.
You knew how Brazil were going to play at a World Cup.
Yeah.
You knew how France were going to play. Germany,
efficient,
rigid, efficient.
Yeah.
Spain, tiki-taka football. They've always kind of had that style.
Yeah.
Holland, total football.
Yeah.
Now, but I don't know whether this is to do with the whole topic that we're talking about or whether football has evolved so much and almost it's Pep's fault. Pep has made everyone want to play the same way. I love Pep. I think he's an absolute genius.
I don't feel like
why do every team have to play out from the back?
So, number one, it's not his fault. Right?
It is his fault.
No, it's not. It's not. Let me explain why, okay? If I go out and buy a car and my car can fly and gets me to places quicker, what are you going to do? You ain't going to walk and get a bicycle. You're going to buy the same car,
I'm going to buy that car because it's your fault.
Exactly. No.
It's Mike's fault.
No, not my fault. But the point is that I found a way, a philosophy or an idea, or I found a USP that works and everyone wants to copy it. That's not my fault for doing that.
Yeah, I know. I'd flippantly saying it's
leave Pep alone, man.
I'm joking, man. He's an absolute. I think he's the greatest manager in my lifetime. I do believe that. And you know what?
I think for me, there are 3 managers that I think get in my top 3.
Does one of them do this?
So Pep for me.
Yeah.
Mourinho.
Yeah.
And they're my 3 because not only because of character, style of play, and just like what they've done for the game. But as I say, that we're diverging a little bit. But that's.
But going back to what you were saying a bit before about when with the rugby example, it made me think of the recent AFCON. And it was because, do you remember there was clips of the Nigerian guys on the coach?
Yes.
Going to games. And the ones who were more Nigerian were cussing out the English boys. So Calvin Bassey, Iwobi, they were getting called English boys. You English boys, and getting cussed, all banter. Yeah. But I was like, I wonder how that feels for them because they are English. The way you see them, the way they talk, they're born here. They're fully English boys, but they are Nigerian from their parents.
Like Mikel Antonio, same thing.
Yeah.
So it's the reason why I wonder what it feels. Greenwood, because he's English, right? It's just.
But like Thingy came out and cussed out the Jamaica team, innit? Leon Bailey a couple of years ago. He was just like, it's not professional. And obviously I don't think it was not professional. I think it's the way it's done back there, you know? So it's an interesting one, because like you say, you want to kind of keep the culture of that country, but now because of the way the world is, it's getting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, on that, I remember reading an article or watching an interview with Alex Iwobi, and he was explaining the first time he went to play for Nigeria, and he said, they put me in a hotel. I went into the hotel room and there was cockroaches everywhere. So I asked them to move me. They didn't move me. So I ended up checking myself into a hotel. Yeah. And then as soon as all the other players knew that I was there, they came and ended up sleeping in my room because they didn't want to stay in the hotel. And I was just like, he said he wasn't serious.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. This is an international team and this is what they do.
Yeah.
And that's it. I get it, right? You, like we said, you want the luxuries. You want the opportunities. You want to be in the big stage. So you're gonna choose the best fit for you, just like we choose jobs, right?
100%. Yeah, it's a good analogy there, because I think it's one of these ones where it's you can't win sometimes.
Yeah.
So as a classic example, completely changing sport, boxing, Lennox Lewis, classic example, right? He's never been loved by the British public, really. Yeah. They kind of started to show him love when he beat up Mike Tyson and started winning. But he always won though, innit? He lost 3 fights, I think, but he's the only person that's avenged all of his defeats. So he's a bad man, bro. But he was born in London, so he is English in that sense. Jamaican parents, at 12 years old, moves to Canada, then represents Canada. This is where it gets techie, and I think I understand why he gets a little bit of harsh criticism and doesn't get as much love, because yes, you were born in London, but you moved to Canada and you decided to represent Canada at the Olympics and do well. And then all of a sudden you become professional and you go back to now wanting to represent Great Britain. So it was always difficult for him. And then you've got the other thing that didn't help him, where you got Frank Bruno, who everyone loved.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your thoughts are.
It goes back to what you said. He embraced the British culture.
Frank.
Yeah. Frank did. Yeah.
Oh, I got.
Yeah. He embraced it. And that's what they loved about him. But you're right.
You know what I mean, Harry?
It comes down to popularity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. Because, Diego Maradona, Argentina adored him. It's taken a long time for the Argentinian people to really take to Messi. And I think if he hadn't won that World Cup, they'd still be criticizing the guy.
No, they would. They would, because for years they've been trying to find someone to fill that. They had obviously Batistuta, didn't do it. Yeah. They had Riquelme, didn't do it. And then waiting for someone else to don that number 10 to do it. And then Messi's done it. And it's a shame, because he has been very loyal, he was at Barcelona for X amount of years, only left because they didn't renew his contract, played for Argentina, 6 World Cup he's going to now.
Yeah, it's nuts,
and
man.
the fact that someone's been that loyal and given so much to the game under the shirt of Argentina and still not be loved is crazy. I mean, that's me. I'm moving. I'm going to Brazil, bruv. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, but it's true. And again, and I think that's the bit we don't see, which you picked on with the whole Boatangs, is the emotional connection side, the feeling bit, the bit that we don't see behind closed doors, how your teammates treat you because you live in another country, but you got heritage. Yeah. Like the Nigerian boys, or how they treat you if you're trying to represent one country, but even your brother's representing another. Do they give you the same respect? That emotional ties that you don't have. And it adds weight to the shirt that you put on your back, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember when just before I think it was the World Cup, when we drafted in Owen Hargreaves. I knew nothing about Owen Hargreaves, just that he was Canadian. But the fact is, his nan was English, so we can have him.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got him because he was playing for Bayern Munich.
That was the only reason.
That
was the only reason. He was a good player,
midfielder, so he played in a position that we kind of needed. But because he was playing for Bayern Munich, a top team in Europe, we must have him. That granny rule kicked in.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but it's emotionally, I don't know how I'd feel. Like if my son grows up and says,
I'll ask you a question.
I want to play for India.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, if that's what you want to do. Inside, I'd be like, really? I
was about to ask you that question. Yeah. What would be your preferences I'm obviously you've got no Indian in you, so I'm guessing that's last.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
What would you prefer?
personally,
Would you prefer him to pick Jamaica or England?
So I've actually had this conversation with him, and he said
his answer was hilarious.
He said England first of all, right?
Yeah.
And then I explained the rules to him that up until 21, he doesn't have to pay for the. He goes, all right, I'll pay to Jamaica to 21, and then England.
Yes.
Like in all honesty, so I've got Jamaican parents, but I'm born here. So as far as I'm concerned, English, right?
Yeah.
And sorry, British, not English. That's another conversation.
Yeah.
And he's also born here, but to me, who's half English, half Jamaican, and his mum, who's also born in England but has Indian heritage.
Yeah.
So he going back to the heritage, he should play for either Jamaica or India, right? Yeah. If we go back to that, so granny rule,
that blood thing, back to what we started with, yes,
Jamaica or India, right? The country he's born in is England.
Yeah,
his parents English,
were born in England as well. Yeah.
So why do we only stop at grandparents, or why do we include grandparents?
That was going to be another question I was going to ask.
When the first two are clearly the same. Like, did you see? Like, have they included the granny rule because it opens up more opportunities?
I think they did. I think they literally started to do that to open up to.
But then who benefits though? Because it's not the small nations.
No,
it's still the big nations, right?
It's true. It's so true. Yeah. Because it was like the other day I was having a discussion with my mum, and obviously, my mum's a Scouser, she's from Liverpool, born in Liverpool. Her parents were born in Liverpool. But I was like, Mum, do you have any English blood in you? She's like, of course I do. And my dad was like, yeah, she was born in England. What are you talking about? And I'm like, let me land for a minute. I was like, because your mum was fully Irish and your dad was fully Welsh. So technically, even though they were born in England, in Liverpool, their blood is just straight up Irish and straight up Welsh. I don't think I've got any English blood in me, Mike. It's mad. It's actually mad. And I was like, oh my God. But the other thing as well, and I think this has to come into play as well. And I reckon it does come into play when some of the examples we used earlier, I think it affects the decision that the individual makes. So yes, we're in England, right? But someone like Semenyo, I reckon, well, I know this because I saw an interview with his mum the other day. You open the door and go into his house, the culture is Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Yes, they live in England, but they're eating Ghanaian food. They're, it's all the religion side of it, church and it's like, okay, so then it changes slightly. But so you have more, or you feel more Ghanaian because actually in your household everything is Ghanaian culture. Yeah, and I think that's for everyone, and not just black as well. Like you could use Polish as an example, Russian, whatever. But there's Spanish, Italian, whatever in England. You go into people's households, there's going to be an element of that culture in the house.
Yeah, true. And that would, you're right, that would sway. It's almost like if you chose a different country to that, then you'd almost be embarrassed to go home, right? Let's say Semenyo's dad is half Ghanaian.
Go and have your fish and chips. You ain't having no jollof rice.
Let's say Semenyo's dad is half Ghanaian and half Japanese, right? Yeah. And Semenyo comes home and he goes, Dad, this is how he talks about it, Dad.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, Japan. That's a really good way.
And he said, I'm going to represent Japan. Can you imagine how that goes? Do you know what, Dad? This has been good, man. I've enjoyed this one. It's been a good one coming back. I think we kind of answered it in different ways. I don't think we agree on the right or the wrong. Like but what we do agree on is that the shirt that you wear, you should have some pride in wearing.
And 100%.
It shouldn't just be about the opportunity it gives you. You should have pride to wear it. It is an honor to represent a country at the highest level. I still think people are taking it a little bit for granted, but that's for them to work out behind their closed doors.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, who's winning the World Cup?
Brazil. I was going to do the hard. I know there's loads of good teams. Brazil.
Yeah. Okay. Because of the heat, right?
Heat. I just have this feeling, man. I have this feeling that it's going to be Brazil. I think it's going to be way too hot for England. I don't understand why we are always tagged as favourites. I just don't get it. Like, obviously, I would love us to win. I would love England to win, but I look at it and go, is our defence actually that good?
What do you mean? We got Dan Burn, mate. We got Dan Burn.
Like France are a joke. France's B team are getting into the final potentially.
Dan Burn and Marcus Gay. That's all we need, man.
I just worry about the defence.
Okay, all right. So next question, and then I'll tell you mine. Who's going to be the surprise nation? Who's going to get the furthest? And when you're looking at the knockouts and you think they shouldn't be there.
Japan.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's going to be another conversation later on.
Okay.
But I think the way the Japanese are going, bro, I look at their videos and they're all unbelievable technicians. I think in the future they could be a real problem. They're my dark horses, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, not dark horse. They're not dark horse. They're just someone that I think could go far.
Yeah. I think France are going to win it. I'm going with the obvious. Like, I know
your favorite player to win the tournament and score all the goals.
To be honest with you, he deserves to win another World Cup. Like, he's in an amazing team. If he doesn't win another World Cup in that team, I'd be surprised. And so I think France are going to win it. The surprise for me, I actually think home nation support and the fact they've got Poch, I think USA will get quite far.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't mapped their route yet, but I genuinely believe that, and I know he's been pulling up trees everywhere with his decisions on team selection, and he's making it very clear that you earn your spot.
Yeah.
And Americans are very, very proud of representing when they've earned it. So I think they're going to be the dark horses and get a little bit further. So not like out the groups and then one step further. And I think they'll be done after that. But yeah.
The other thing I was going to leave it with is it's funny how the world works. Messi finally got his World Cup. I would not be surprised if Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal win this World Cup. Their squad is stacked. And it might just be that it's typical. We're 20 years of these two at the top competing. Messi's finally won his World Cup. It might be the moment Ronaldo just goes, I'm still better than you, bro. I've won a World Cup.
I don't want him to win it. I want him to keep the Euros. I want Messi to win that. At the end of all of it, when it's said and done, I want to see a documentary of both of them in it. And I want them to talk about the challenges and competition they had over the years. That's what I want. Yeah. I don't think Ronaldo needs to win the World Cup. He's already considered one of the greatest, just like Messi is. Like, for me, Messi didn't need to win it. So
I agree with you on that.
I want them to just end whenever they end, because they're 38, bro. Like, what's going on?
Ronaldo's 41 years old, bro.
Like, how can you go 41. to a World Cup at 41? What's going on? What are you doing at 41? Exactly. Can't even remember.
Not playing in the World Cup, man. Not playing in the World Cup.
But nah, it's been good, man. It's been good to catch up. I'm looking forward to the World Cup. And good topic. Hope everyone out there likes this topic. We will be back soon. I've got some ideas for next one. Slim's got some. But stay tuned, people. Peace.
All good. Peace, man. Love.